Hey everybody, this is Thomas Bennett with iCEV. I'm part of the technical support department. I'm here to tell you about some very exciting LTI updates that are coming very, very soon. Basically, what we've implemented is the ability for customers to customize their course in icvonline.com and then export that course into what's known as a common cartridge file. The common cartridge file can then be imported into your learning management system. Specifically, right now we're focused on Canvas and Schoology, but we will have other LMSs being added to our support. So without any further ado, let me show you some of our videos that our developers have released to us. Yes, that's how early on we are. I don't actually have access to it right now, but I should have access to it to do quality assurance, as I am part of the technical support team. So when this doesn't work, you're going to be calling me, and then I'll be working with the developers to get whatever the problem is resolved. But as a former CTE teacher, I am extremely excited and extremely jealous that all of you are going to have this capability, because this is going to allow for a very awesome turnkey operation. So let's jump right into it. All right, so the very first one is just going to go over how we're going to be exporting our files. And let me just hit play, and I'll kind of narrate through the process. So right now, as you can see, we're accessing one of the courses. And if we scroll down, there's going to be an export common cartridge file. So what this is going to do is this is going to take everything that's been created, and it's going to package it into a file, and you're going to have the option to export this as a Canvas common cartridge or as a Schoology common cartridge file. And so as you can see, there's our two options. And then we're just going to scroll through, verify this is everything you want, hit export. And as soon as the export process is completed, it's actually going to download as a file. Now, the other really cool thing about this is that because you've created the course in icvonline.com and you've exported it as a file, the external tool that does the grade passback can now keep track of other changes. The most important change, student feedback. In the past, when the students submit their work, the students are always shown the answer. Now you have full control over what the students see. If you only want the students to see a score, that's all they're going to see. If you want the students to see what questions they got wrong, but not the answer, you can do that as well. You can also give them full access to see anything and everything that they want. So as you can see, the file is downloaded. And in this demonstration, they're just showing that for Schoology, it would be essentially the same process. You don't really have to worry too much about what's going on, but Canvas and Schoology, they kind of use different technologies in the background, so we had to make some changes. Now, what we're showing here is you can actually create a custom course from scratch, and then you can just export that custom course. So you don't have to use a pre-made course. If you want to create a course from scratch, go for it. And then you can then export that as a common cartridge file. Now, some of the other really cool functionality here is that you can actually show and hide the individual assets, meaning, assignments, assessments, student notes, vocabulary, all that fun stuff, or even the entire lesson. Here in icvonline.com, if you hide or show things over here, over in Canvas or over in Schoology, let's say you have everything published. Well, if it's hidden over here, the students won't be able to access it. So this is one more way for you to be able to control what the students are doing, when the students are doing it, and all that fun stuff. So we're just trying to make this as turnkey and as easy for y'all to be able to utilize this and get up and running as quickly as possible. And of course, we still have grade passback and all that fun stuff as well. And so you can see there the file's been downloaded. And there's going to be a follow-up video with regards to how to import this file into Canvas and into Schoology respectively. And so if you didn't necessarily want to export an entire course or an entire customized course, you can actually export an individual lesson if you would prefer. That would probably be, I would say, probably the fastest and easiest solution, because those files typically are smaller and you'll have a lot more control over the individual lessons, but it's completely up to you. So, and along with this, we are currently working on changing our PDF documents into teacher graded interactive assignments, meaning the PDF documents, the students will be able to answer directly, and then you'll be able to come into icevonline.com to grade those entries, and then those grades will pass back into Canvas or into Schoology, whichever learning management system you're using. Okay, and as you can see here, we're starting the next video, and basically what's happening at this point is the file's been exported and the file's been imported into Canvas. Don't worry, Schoology customers, it's going to operate essentially the exact same way. You know, the biggest difference between Canvas and Schoology is kind of like the biggest difference between Home Depot and Lowe's. One of them is orange, one of them is blue. So it's just, we're literally getting ready to release this to quality assurance. And after it gets through quality assurance, we're going to release it to the public. And so right here, with this particular error message showing up back in iCEV, this particular scenario, the customer doesn't have a subject area license. And so this is just showing that we have a lot more interactivity between icevonline.com and the external tool. And now we're going to be picking on the effective reading strategies. And please note that all of these operations, as you're seeing, are on the development servers, and these aren't typically as fast as our production servers. So a lot of this lag time you're seeing, you're not going to be seeing in the real world. And right now they are submitting the progress. And so they're scrolling through and they're showing the student feedback. And now what we're doing is in iCEV, we just made this not visible to the students. And now you can see that the students are receiving the message that visibility is set to off. And so you'll be able to control it's another layer of control. You'll now be able to control visibility settings from within icevonline.com, as long as you have exported the common cartridge file from icevonline.com. If you're using a previous resource, like from, let's say, Canvas Commons or Schoology resources, this capability won't operate. And right now, so we're going to actually hide the lesson in icevonline.com, and you're going to see that the error message will change. And because we're hiding the lesson, everything that's part of the lesson is also not visible to the students. So I hope this has been helpful. We are extremely excited, and we are really looking forward to getting this rolled out very, very soon. Thank you so much for your time. Once again, there will be some follow-up videos with regards to importing directly into Canvas Commons. I'm sorry, into Canvas and into Schoology. Also, once this has been rolled out, all of our resources that are available on Canvas Commons and Schoology resources will be taken down. So don't let that alarm you. This is going to be just part of our overall rollout of this particular process. Once again, this is Thomas Bennett. I'm part of technical support with iCEV, and thank you so much for your time. Hey everybody, this is Thomas Bennett once again. I'm part of the technical support team here at iCEV, and we're going to go through how to import a common cartridge into Canvas. So if you take a look at this Word document that I currently have up, this website URL is a step-by-step guide produced by Canvas on how to import common cartridge files. Below that, you can see if you're a Schoology user, you happen to be watching this video, here's a link to essentially how to import common cartridge files in Schoology. Now, one thing that I highly recommend is that if you're going to import our content, I would suggest importing it into what's known as a sandbox course in Canvas, and in Schoology, it's known as an unpublished course. Basically, these courses, they're not published, so they're not live, and they don't have any students in them. The reason why is because when you import an entire course, it could cause some slowdown on your end. And so what's a preferred method is to import an entire course into an unpublished location and then copy what you need from that unpublished location into your live course. So all that being said, let's continue on. So as you can see here, I'm in Canvas. This is a brand new course. I am on the home page. And let's go ahead and let's click on import existing content. What we want to do is we want to select the type common cartridge 1.x package, choose file, and let's see here. I'm going to open up this file. And remember, technically, I'm importing into a sandbox. If you import into a live published course, there is potential for data loss. So just please be aware of that. Please make certain you're aware of where you're importing your files. And I'm going to go ahead, and since there isn't anything in this course, I'm not going to worry about any of my options. And we're going to hit import. And at this time, we're going to wait on Canvas to finish processing this file. Okay, and as you can see here, the import process has completed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into grades and I'm going to configure the gradebook just to make it a little bit easier for the gradebook to load in the future in the sandbox course. Okay, and now that the gradebook is finally loaded, I'm going to click on View, Filters, Modules, and then I'm going to go to View again, Arrange by Module first to last. Alrighty, and now that we have all of that set up, I'm going to set the default module to be Advanced Pruning. And so that's going to be the only thing that's going to appear. So I'm going to go back into my course. All right, and so here is all of the lessons from that particular course. They are all in modules. And I'm going to go down to the advanced pruning. Here we go. And so here are all of our assignments, and here are all of our external tool links. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to publish this so that this will be visible to the test student. Unfortunately, with how Canvas operates in its current form, anytime you publish a module, it will by default automatically publish everything inside of it. So this is a thing with Canvas, but at this point, now that it's visible, you could actually go through and move the different assignments around in whatever particular order you would like them to be in. And so you can see here, I have worksheet on top of vocabulary now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into student view, and I'm going to show you the grade passback capability along with a little safety net in case grades don't pass back, on how students can push their grades manually if necessary. So I'm going to go into the assessment here. As you can see, I am in student view. And I'm not going to answer every one of these for any agricultural teachers, floral design teachers. I apologize. I am more of the computer nerd, business information management, CTE teacher, so in a former life. So hopefully I'll get above a 0. Awesome, very good. So this is some of the student feedback, which earlier I went over some of the really awesome big changes that are coming with regards to student feedback. You can now control what feedback the students receive. Currently in its form right now, as of this recording, the students will see all the questions, of course, and the correct answer. Rest assured, you will have the ability to change this to control what the students see. Okay, so and as you can see here, this one's incorrect. The correct answer would have been feather growth. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into grades. I'm still in student view. And you can see here that I scored a whopping 20. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave student view and I'm going to go directly into the teacher grade book. So the reason why I set up the gradebook the way I did is to make the gradebook load what I want to see faster. At this point, you are waiting on Canvas. So as you can see here, the 20 is showing up in the Canvas gradebook on the teacher side of things. Now, I'm going to change this grade to be, let's say, a 10. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the course. And we're going to basically use that safety net I was describing earlier. And what this is used for is if you have a student that swears up and down that they have completed the work, it's just the grade isn't showing up. This is a way for the student to take responsibility and control and to manually push the grade if the grade doesn't show up. And the grade wouldn't show up if the internet's running slowly, if Canvas is running slowly. The grade itself gets kind of lost in a purgatory, and then it's just, after a certain amount of time, it just kind of gets erased and forgotten about. So I'm going to go back into student view, and I'm going to go back into the assessment. And don't worry about this pass-fail indicator. That's literally what it is. It is an indicator. I just showed you that we are passing the grade. And if the student clicks summary, remember, there's nothing that you have to do. There's nothing that we have to do. The student just has to go back to the assignment and click summary. They're not even going to notice anything different. But if we go back to grades, it's been flipped back to a 20. Now, one way to prove that it's been flipped back to a 20, I'm going to leave student view. And so now we're back in the teacher gradebook as soon as the gradebook loads. If we go to gradebook history, it's going to show basically a transactional history of what we did. So here's the first attempt. There was no score. First time, student made a 20. Now right here, where it says demo account, that's because I'm using a demo account and that's the name of the teacher. If the teacher manually changed the grade, their name would show up here. You can see that before it was a 20, then after it was set to a 10. And then here is after the student clicked on summary. You can see that before it was a 10, after it was a 20. Anywhere you see greater, not available, that's basically a grade coming in from a third party. In this case, it's us. Canvas doesn't know who it is, so they label it as not available. But this is just one more way to ensure that the grades are coming across. In case something happens, the students have the control, they have the power to manually push that grade.